Good morning guys. I'm Elle, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second video in my new series that I'm calling Soul Sunday. I'm hoping that every Sunday I can give you something to think about, put a stone in your shoe, something that you can kind of mull over and meditate over and pray over for the following week, and I hope it brings you lots of motivation and encouragement. Today we're going to be talking about emotions and the truth of where emotions actually come from. If you are not signed up for my newsletter, it's a free newsletter that I send out on Friday evenings where I give you just a little taste of what we're going to be talking about on Sunday, so you can sort of get your thoughts flowing and your wheels turning before we jump in together on today's video. So if you're not signed up, I'll have a link in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started. Did you know that there are only two emotions? That's right. There's only two emotions in all of this earth: love and fear. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what about anger? I feel anger a lot. But the truth is, at the root of anger, if you really excavate anger and look down at the pit at the bottom of anger, it's fear. At the root of anger is either this feeling of, that's not me, I'm misunderstood, or that's not fair. And both of those are rooted in fear when you really think about it. So there's only two emotions in the whole world: love and fear. Now, another truth is that God is love. And that's really important to understand, that God is not loving. God does not act lovingly. He does, but God isn't limited by that. God is love. God is the physical and metaphysical representation, embodiment of love. So everything that is love and loving and beautiful comes from God. We are made in the image of God. It says in Genesis that we are made in the image of God. If you think about it, you make love to make a baby. We are made out of love. We are created in love and with love. We are knit in our mother's womb, and our Father knows us and calls us by name, and He designed us. We are made from love. So love is the emotion that we are meant to be dwelling in and thriving in and flourishing in. And when we're feeling love, and our body and our emotions and our mental state is operating from a place of love, that is where we are in true connection with God. You can think about it as you're driving down a road, and God is at the end of that road. And if you are operating from a place of love, there's no traffic between you and God. But we know that often when we're driving, and often down the road of life, there's lots of traffic. There's fear, there's anxiety, there's disappointment, there's sadness, there's anger, there's rejection, there's resentment, there's jealousy. These are all feelings that are perfectly okay to feel, and I don't think it's realistic to think that we will never feel those feelings. We are meant to have a human experience on earth, and that means that there are going to be times where we do feel all of those feelings. But what I want you to understand is that you are not those feelings. What is driving your tank, what is fueling your body, is love. And everything else that's on the road of life is just traffic. And that's a really important distinction between I'm angry and I'm experiencing anger. I'm sad and I'm feeling sadness. That difference might seem small, but that difference is actually really important, because when you can make the distinction between the fact that you are not your feelings, you are having feelings, you're able to remove yourself enough from your feelings that you can look at them a little bit more objectively. Now, that is not to say that you shouldn't or can't feel those feelings. Those feelings can be totally valid. If you've lost a loved one, if you've been through a breakup, if you're in some sort of argument with someone, it's natural to feel those feelings. Those feelings are okay. But it's important to know that you are not those feelings. You're having a temporary experience of those feelings. When you can make that distinction, you can look at those feelings more as an observer rather than a participant. And what's great about that is you don't have to be scared of those feelings. So often we don't want to feel anger. We don't want to feel sadness. We don't want to feel anxiety, depression, worry. And so when those feelings show up in our lives, what do? We try and push them away. We say, what can I do to not feel this? Some of us will turn to drugs or alcohol or sex or, various substances just to distract ourselves from those feelings. But the truth is, those feelings can be your friend. If you realize that you are not those feelings, you are a child of God, you are made in love. You're just having these feelings, you're experiencing these feelings, you're spending time with these feelings. Suddenly, you don't have to be so worried about feeling those feelings when they show up. You can sit with those feelings. You can sit amongst those feelings and not worry that they're going to overpower you, not worry they're going to change or taint your being, your spirit. You can sit with those feelings and process them. In fact, you can ask those feelings what they're here to teach you. Stay with me. Let's say you're feeling anxiety. If you notice, I'm feeling anxious right now. Instead of pushing that anxiety down, instead of distracting yourself from that anxiety and not allowing it to show up, you can realize that I am made in the image of God. I am equipped with all the power that the Holy Spirit holds, and I can sit with this anxiety almost as a friend, and I can say, okay, I see that anxiety has shown up here. What is anxiety here to tell me? What do I need to learn? What is anxiety worried about? What can I do about this? Who can I talk to about this? How can I process this? What do I need to learn? How can I be changed for the better? And when we allow ourselves to spend time with those feelings, allow them to show up, have space, and process them, then you can let it go. And then your road can be clear of the traffic again. And then it's just you and God on the road of life. You are not your feelings. Sometimes there's a big, vast chasm between where you are and where you want to be. And sometimes you just want to be on the other side of that chasm. But the truth is, sometimes the only way to get over something is to go through it. Really go through it. And we're going to be talking about that in some weeks to come. But for now, what I want you to take away is this idea that anxiety, sadness, worry, anger, these feelings can actually be your friend. When you're not worried that they're going to overpower your spirit, when you're not worried that they are you, you can spend time with them, process them, and then get back to who you are. Who are you? You are beloved. You are created intentionally for a purpose. You are made in the image of the living being who created this entire universe. The God who created the mountains and the oceans and flowers and sunsets and hugs and coffee and bubble baths. That being wanted you to exist and created you. And what's more, when he created you, he looked at you and said, "Beloved child, I love you. I love you as you are." The more that we can begin to see ourselves as God sees us, the more we can forgive ourselves, the more we can forgive others, and the more that we can live as we're meant to live, which is in love. Love of our Creator, love of our neighbor, love of our friends and family, love of our enemies, love of ourselves. Love truly conquers all. Because, as you remember, God is love. And if God is for you, if the infinite, almighty God is for you, who can stand against you? So the next time that you notice a feeling coming up, instead of saying, "I'm sad, I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm mad," try to reframe your brain and say, "Oh, I'm noticing anger. I'm noticing worry." And try to spend time with that feeling as an observer, not as a participant, and see what you need to learn. Feel the difference when you can see yourself as the observer of your feelings. I really hope today's video resonates with you, that you learned something, that you felt the truth, you felt that hum of truth, that aha moment. If you did, would you please let me know in the comments below? I also want to try something for our Soul Sunday. Would you please leave your prayer requests? Or if you are not Christian, just maybe some life events that you really could use support for. And then when you're in the comments, if you could choose a buddy. So if you can choose someone that you don't know or someone that you've noticed in the comments before and just choose to partner with them for this week, let them know in the comments that you're going to partner with them. And just for the next week until we meet again, would you just keep them in your mind, keep them in your thoughts? If you're of the praying persuasion, keep them in your prayers. I really think it's a really great opportunity for us to strengthen the bond in this community if we really come alongside each other and get to know each other a little bit more. So I'm excited to see how that works for next week. Thank you guys so much for choosing to spend some time with me today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if this is a new way of thinking for you in the comments below. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button. Also, let me know if you would like these Soul Sundays to be a podcast, if that would be something that would be interesting to you, something I'm kind of thinking about. I'm actually going to have an extra video this week, hopefully. I'm going to be cutting both of my son's hair and letting you guys know how I do 2 different easy haircuts from home, because I think a lot of us, whether it's us or our spouse or our children, are looking a little shaggy. So I'm hoping that the new video that I film will allow you to confidently cut your kids' hair this week. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be coming with a very exciting, super motivating whole house all day clean with me, so you guys can get excited for all the things that are happening on my channel this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.